All right, on the phone right now, we've got Chris Barnes from 6 Feet Under and formerly of Cannibal Corpse and several other projects. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. Stoked to be talking to you guys. You guys are going to be coming to town Wednesday, June 20th here in Seattle at Studio 7 with Dying Fetus, Revocation, and several other awesome local metal bands.
And you just put out a savage record that hit the Billboard charts.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? Really proud of that. We put out Undead about a week and a half ago, and all the fans have really embraced it and dig it really heavily. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting on the road. So is the rest of the band, and coming up your way is always fun. So we're looking forward to it.
Now, obviously, a different energy and different style goes into each record that you guys put out. I wanted to ask you, though, just straight from you, what do you think sets this new record, Undead, apart from the rest of the 6 Feet Under catalog?
Well, it's a completely different writing team with myself and Rob Arnold and Kevin Talley in the band, a new drummer. So I think just those things in itself equate to a different sounding record. So that's really the biggest reason why this kind of stands out from a lot of our other releases.
Nice. Obviously, you kind of just mentioned there, 6 Feet Under, you guys have experienced some shuffling of members in the last year or two. Tell us about your current lineup and how'd you got set up with bassist Jeff and guitarist Ola?
Well, basically, I was looking for a really, really strong bass player to, complement Kevin's playing and style for a while. And last year, our good friend Matt DeVries helped out on some of the touring and stuff that we had scheduled, and that was awesome because Matt's just a great guy, and that was a really great set of tours that we did with him. But I needed a really strong bass player, and Jeff's name just kept kind of popping up, and he mentioned to me, and I had been a fan of what he had done in Brain Drill when Metal Blade signed them, and just always kind of had an eye on him, and just put a call into him and said, hey, look, you're an awesome bass player. I'm looking for someone with your style of playing, and he came in and he was really stoked. So really happy to have him along. He's going to be a great addition to the band as far as future songwriting and stuff. And Ola is kind of like, it was weird how we kind of hooked up with him. I had, found out that Rob didn't want to do any more touring in the future.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was, a little bit of a shock, but, I talked to a few people. Mark Lewis mentioned, our producer on Undead had mentioned that a few people, and a guy that had worked on some stuff that he'd done, and put me in touch with this guy, and he mentioned Ola, and I just kind of had Ola, like, his info sitting there for a while, and I didn't really pay too much attention to it, and then I was just like, I'll check his stuff out, and I watched some of his YouTube videos. I was like, dude, this is the guy, man. This is, he's a perfect fit for his style of playing, and I could just see him being a great compliment to Steve on the other side of the stage as far as being a second rhythm guitar player. So he's coming in for the first time and doing this tour with us here coming up, 18 Nights of Blood, and having, him and Jeff as their first tour with 6 Feet Under. They may not have eyebrows or something like that by the time we get to Seattle, just as far as an initiation.
I know, right?
You just never know what might happen to these guys. So, but hey.
I was gonna ask actually, is Ola kind of crapping his pants? Like, is he getting ready for this or what?
I think so, yeah. He's sitting in Toronto right now doing some stuff with Randall, but he's psyched, man. And so is Jeff. Jeff's like just getting done doing some studio stuff with Reciprocal out there in San Jose. So as soon as he's done with that, he's getting on a plane, and we're all kind of convening here in Tampa for rehearsals next week before the tour starts.
The Vortex.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Now, you guys, you streamed your full record, Undead, a few days before it came out. What's your take on the way like technology, downloading the internet is changing the way that business works in the heavy metal music scene area?
Well, I think it's awesome. I mean, I think everything that's been kind of utilized on this setup for this record and stuff has really worked well. And I mean, we've embraced all those things and kind of brought our stuff to the fans first off and let them decide, I mean, I was even asking before I started writing stuff on this album with Rob, like on our Facebook page, I was asking, our fans like, hey, what style of vocal do you like best? What's your favorite thing about the band? Let me know, and then we'll work on those things and focus on them. So from the very beginning, we kind of utilize those outlets to reach our fans and stuff like that, and really connect with them. And I like doing that myself. I think it's important, and it's something that I would have really enjoyed back when I was, listening to Kiss or Judas Priest.
Right.
How awesome would that have been to just go ahead and, tweet, someone in the band.
Hey, what's up, Rob Halford?
And get Halford tweets you back. How killer would that be? But, so I always recognize that, and I think it's evident that, it worked for us because, look, we're on the charts with this album, which is something that's never happened to all the hard work that everybody did on this thing.
Nice. Now, you guys are going to be playing with Behemoth, At the Gates, Municipal Waste, Sanctuary, a ton of awesome bands on the Barge to Hell, one of this year's heavy metal cruises. How did you guys get involved with the 70,000 Tons of Metal folks, and what are your goals for this, man?
It's going to be fun.
To not fall off the boat, maybe, because I'll be so completely trashed by the end of the thing. But yeah, we found out about it. It was, someone mentioned it. I was like, wow, that's a cool name. And I got on their launch page, and I was like, well, that's probably the coolest graphic I've ever seen. A cruise ship rolling through the crystal clear water with body parts floating in and blood. I mean, I had to be on that tour, or that boat, whatever it is. It's going to be a slow boat to hell, probably, but it's going to be fun. So looking forward to it. Everyone said that the 70,000 tons metal, ride is always great. So this should be a blast too, and a lot of great bands as well.
Let's go. It's going to be badass. We might have to jump on that boat with you guys if you're cool with that.
You might have to, guys. It might be a good thing.
Now, this is kind of a left field question, but what is the weirdest thing or stupidest thing anyone has ever tried to do with your dreadlocks?
Nothing really, man. I think most people are afraid to even get too close and touch them or something.
Yeah.
But it's like you might intimidate people a little bit. But yeah.
No one ever tried to cut one off and smoke it or anything?
No one's ever done that. I mean, there's been some people just trying to grab at them while close to the front of the stage or something.
Not cool, man.
Hey, it happens. But yeah, no, nothing too weird. I think people have a little too much respect for dreadlocks to mess with them too much.
Those things are weapons anyway, man. You can start swinging those around.
They'll definitely take out an eye.
One time when I saw Shadows Fall play at El Corazon here in Seattle, the singer, Brian, he actually got one of his dreadlocks caught in the lights, and he had to cut off a tiny bit of it.
Oh, no. Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I've had pieces fall off on stage. I'll find, look down, and there's a little nub or something. But,
Rest in peace, little dreadlock.
No, nothing like that. I think I got my one caught in maybe Steve's headstock or something. That was kind of intertwined there. So yeah, that's not too good.
There's an awesome video of you online doing a car commercial for Park Auto Mall.
Yeah,
have you gotten any?
To live that down.
I was gonna say, have you gotten any crap for that?
Well, yeah. All the people that hate
awesome.
me utilize that as reason more to hate me. So, but the people that really like what I do find it funny. I think it was funny and it was fun to do. And I can check that off my bucket list. Commercial.
What other bands would have good endorsements like Pig Destroyer Pork Chops, like Machine Head Auto Parts?
I wish I would have gotten some out of that deal, but actually it was, something I just did for free for them. So
how's your Porsche?
I love it. It's my favorite car that I've had.
Nice.
I've had probably way too many. So
we already hinted at this a little bit. You are a huge fan or proponent of
connoisseur
of marijuana. Obviously, you've made some songs about it. Everyone knows Chris Barnes loves the weed. What's your favorite strain of weed?
I really enjoy Kush. I like Kush. I'll take whatever you give me.
Right? Not too picky.
It really isn't too. If it's tasty, I will enjoy it along with you. Yes.
Okay. And who's your favorite metal guy or metal musician to smoke with?
Well, I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, that's
but,
true. That's true.
I have all my friends pretty much smoke weed, so and a lot of them are in the metal industry. But I'm looking forward to a fun tour because myself and Jeff seem to be the biggest partakers in the herbs. So.
Nice. Well, when you guys come through Seattle, we're in the Northwest is very green friendly. So
yes, I know it is. I love it, and that's another reason why I can't wait to get up there again. Yeah. It's lovely for that, and good food, and good wine, and great fans. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe you should hook up a tour with Cannabis Corpse in the future. What do you think about that?
I would love to, man. I love those guys. I actually tried to get them on this tour, but they were doing some other dates somewhere else, I think, and that was part of my original plan was to have them on this one.
Yeah, I think Municipal Waste is out on the road right now too, so one of their members is tied up with them.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, something like that. They didn't have their drummer or someone like that.
We've got just a few left before we let you go. We wanted to hear the story though. How did you get Cannibal Corpse involved in the Ace Ventura production? Like, tell us a little story about how that went down.
Oh, all right. Well, that was really Mike Faley at Metal Blade Records. He gave me a call one afternoon and said, "Chris, I got this call about this movie and this guy Jim Carrey," and instantly I was like, "Oh man, yeah, I know who that guy is."
Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah, exactly, and all sorts of other stuff, just a stand-up, really. But at that point, he was, so they asked us if we wanted to do it, and we were like, "Oh yeah, for sure." So they flew us down to Miami from Buffalo. That's where we were living at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, got to spend like 4 days in Miami and got paid for it pretty well and just, got to meet Jim. And he was just such a nice guy. He was really, really just an open type of guy. And we sat on the set all day long and watched how that movie was made. And every evening we got to watch the dailies upstairs in the penthouse at the hotel we were staying at. And just to watch like how a movie actually was put together, it kind of ruined it for you.
Yeah, it changes how you look at movies.
Yeah, because it's like, and really, whenever I see like award shows and stuff, like the Oscars or Golden Globes or something, and they're giving awards out to directors and producers, I always say, dude, those guys aren't the guys that make the film like watchable. It's the guy that edits the film, and that's the dude he's the dude in control of it all. Really, is the editor. And just watching how that movie was even filmed, they really didn't even have a script when we were filming it. They were really making stuff up as they went along, which makes it even that much more incredible that it was written on the fly and that, they didn't even know what they were doing. Excuse me. But
no, it's all good. Is Jim Carrey as big of a metalhead as they say he is?
At that time he was. I mean, I remember we went into his trailer while he was getting his makeup done, and yeah, he had a little boombox sitting there and listening to Vulgar Display of Power, and he had a Napalm Death CD there, and some AC/DC I remember seeing too. So,
nice.
Yeah, he's Canadian, so all Canadians love metal.
Right on. Well, we have one last question for you. Really, we like to ask this question mostly to everyone that we talk to, but figured, Chris Barnes, you've been on the road for so many years. You've been in so many amazing death metal records. Pick a scar on your body and tell us the story of how you got it, Chris.
Scar on my body. Well, actually, as you say that, I've got a scar right between my eyes on the bridge of my nose that I got one night. Myself and Paul Mazurkiewicz from Cannibal Corpse. This was before I was on the road, so it's a pre-road story. But after maybe I think the second Cannibal Corpse show in Buffalo, the local show we played, I think we opened up for The Accused at the River Rock Cafe.
From Northwest.
We got out of the car and I had to go back into the car for a second, and I hit my frickin' bridge of my nose right on the rain gutter of the car above the driver's side door, and it cut my nose open, and that's always been there since pretty much the first Cannibal Corpse show ever.
That's harsh. Awesome. Chris Barnes from 6 Feet Under, their new record Undead is out on Metal Blade Records now. They're going to be in Seattle here with us Wednesday, June 20th at Studio 7 with Dying Fetus, Revocation, Devils of Ludin, Psychonaut Death Trip, Deathmocracy, and Thou Shall Kill. That's a hell of a show right there.
That's a bitchin' tour, man. Dying Fetus, Revocation, sick.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I hope to see everybody there for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have any last words for the Seattle audience before we say goodbye?
Let's have a blast. Everyone come on out, and we'll make it worth your while for real.